Maneuver Commander. I am Sir Archibald Claughton Lord Godwinson, VC OBE GCB GCIE, and Commander-in-Chief of Her Majesty's forces in... Oh, what does it matter? After a little row at last week's parade with Lord Cardigan involving a black bottle, I now have the honour to represent myself as... your Honourable Aide-de-Camp, Commander. So, I meant to get you into the action as expeditiously as possible, but before you take to the field and send thousands of enthusiastic young sons of the Empire to their eternal glory in service of Her Majesty the Queen, I propose we go through some of the basics. First, one may manipulate one's camera using the keys W, A, S, and D. To lower the camera, hold Q. To raise, hold E. To look around freely, hold the middle mouse button and drag. And speeding up the camera can be done by holding left shift. Then, one will left-click one's undeployed troops and right-click them into position. Now that we can inspect our men, the scum that they are, let's try giving them a command. To do so, left-click on the unit in question, hold down right-click on a tile within their range, and release. To check that one's order is queued, select the order list in the bottom left of the screen. Any order made will be listed here. Now, if one wishes for his men to fire, one can left-click the crosshairs in the bottom left and right-click the target. Units may be given one fire order and one maneuver order per turn. Hence, fire and maneuver. This is currently the planning phase, but once one is ready to submit orders, one must select the envelope in the bottom right and let the action unfold. Now is the execution phase, where one revels at the complete and utter destruction of one's foe. To finish off the enemy with bayonets, simply left-click on the men and right-click on the enemy. But beware, frontal assaults are typically disadvantageous for those charging. In this case, however, we can see that our enemy's cohesion, the bars displayed in blue, is already shattered. One must break cohesion before dealing permanent damage to a unit. Luckily, the enemy's health is also low, and one can check this by viewing the bars displayed in green. Cohesion can be regained by finishing a turn non-adjacent to any enemy. So let's make sure the Ruskies can't run and reform. And charge. Glorious. To change an infantry battalion's formation, use the center blue button in the bottom right. There are 5 formations to choose from: close order, open order, attack column, march column, and square. Close order is slow, but does maximum ranged damage. Open order is vulnerable to charges and deals less ranged damage, but has a large amount of coverage. Optimal if the unit is equipped with rifles. Attack column is fast and deals higher charge damage, but has limited range damage and limited coverage. March column is even faster than attack column when used on roads, but cannot deal any damage and is vulnerable to any form of attack. Lastly, square has full coverage, deals minimal range damage, and receives additional range damage, but is immune to charge damage. Next, I will speak briefly on terrain. High ground gives units additional range. Forests and rough terrain will stop units in their tracks for a turn. Farmsteads and buildings provide cover, and roads provide additional movement. Make sure to read the board and plan the best routes to seize the most superior terrain before deploying on the battlefield. Finally, we will touch on traits, and then I will send you into the fray. With only a single day of training from Victoria's finest, what's the worst that can happen? Traits are special abilities attached to units. Each nation has its own specialty troops with multiple traits, But in some cases, even standard line infantry has unique traits that set them apart from other nations. For example, Prussian infantry all have efficiency, allowing each unit to maneuver twice. They also have breech loaders, allowing them to fire twice. The British infantry, meanwhile, has range drill, which gives them an additional point of damage when firing. And, as a final example, Russian infantry has the disorganized trait, which lowers the speed at which units regain cohesion. One can learn more about traits by simply hovering over them. That's all for now, Commander. I do believe you are ready to fight. Some peasants, but, admittedly, really not much more than that. Come back another time if you wish to formally start your training, and work your way up from ensign to lieutenant general. At once. A smart decision, General.